It's not easy to release our troubles, our limiting thoughts, our habits, our toxic relationships, our strapped circumstances. We are prone to linger in them. Anyone else prone to linger where we really don't want to be? But through spiritual practice, we can loose false thought into its native nothingness, and once again, be ready to receive. Just take it as the voice of God, reinforcing everything I'm saying. In the Jewish tradition, if you keep kosher, you have separate silverware and utensils for meat products and dairy products. You don't mix the two because you don't serve the two things at the same time. So you have separate dishes, separate sinks, separate containers. Well, if you're raising kids, mistakes are going to be made, and the meat fork is going to end up in mashed potatoes and butter, and that's going to be a problem. But the way you re-sanctify or re-kosher, as in kosher, re-kosher your silverware, is you take the fork and you stick it in the dirt. Now think about this. Purified natural water, natural spring water moves through dirt and rocks, and all of the toxicity is removed. Scientists tell us that energy is never destroyed, it is simply transformed. So when you stick that fork back in the dirt, what you are doing symbolically and somewhat physically is you are removing the toxins, you are returning to neutral, you are transforming that energy so that it might be used again in a new way. So we're going to do a little bit of a ritual today. You were all given a rock. And we're going to do a release meditation. Is there anyone that did not get a rock or that needs a rock? If you start holding your rock now, it will be warm by the time you finish. And anybody need a rock? All right. So I'm going to invite you. I really need to use this thing. I'm going to invite you to do a meditation with me. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes with me for a moment. And what I would like you to do is think back over this last year. And I want you to sort of picture the ups and the downs and the delights and the struggles, and the depths and the moments of grace. So just take a few moments and think for a moment about your past year. Start in January and just move yourself through the year thinking about the good, the difficult, the graceful, the traumatic, the laughter, the tears. Give yourself a moment to review. And as you review, think about people, relationships. Give some thought to places, those that fed you, those that defeated you. Think about music and conversations. Everything in its time calls forth the wholeness within. What might seem like brokenness is the breaking open of the hard shell of fear, separation, and stagnation. And so in your mind's eye, I would like you to imagine that you are approaching a cupboard with wooden doors. And on those wooden doors is the image of a heart. Next to the cupboard is a table with an empty pitcher. And on that pitcher is the word release. And so approach your heart cupboard and open the doors. And inside you will find jars, like snow globes. And inside each jar is a situation or a relationship or a conversation. There are people and events in your heart cupboard, streaming light and joy and old ideas and clutter. There are all those new things you are doing to support yourself, and there are those toxic habits way in the back, all dusty. You can see what's hurt and what's healed. So what I want you to do in your heart cupboard is to begin to sort the jars. Pick up a jar, look at the experience or the person or the word inside and ask yourself, did this feed me or did this deplete me? And if it's something that feeds you, place it back in the cupboard. And if it's something that depleted you, you may release it by simply pouring its contents into the pitcher on the table and setting it into jar aside. As you sort, as you pick up each jar, tell yourself how grateful you are for the gifts and the growth. If it fed you, you know what the gift is. If it depleted you, it caused you to grow. Be grateful. Trust that at the time it served you, and pour the contents of what you no longer need into the pitcher. Take some time and sort out the jars in your cupboard until all those that no longer serve you have been emptied into the pitcher. Remember, as you pour, with honor and gratitude, I let go of what no longer serves me. Honor and gratitude. And once your jars have been emptied, I want you to pick up the pitcher that's on the table that says release on it. And I want you to pour the contents of the pitcher into your rock. Your rock is the earth. It is the receptacle of all this energy which you no longer need in its present form. You don't need that habit. You don't need that relationship. You don't need anything that depletes you. Fill it into the rock and allow the rock to hold it. And what I want you to do in a moment, we're going to collect the rocks from you. And after service, I will take the rocks and return them to the earth so that that energy might be neutralized and released and used again in another way. So I'm going to ask our ushers to come forward. And they're going to pass the basket so that you might place your rock in the basket. And as you place your rock again, thank it for the growth and the gifts.